And a very, very good morning and welcome to Fanatec GT World Challenge Asia, powered by AWS, all set for the first of two qualifying sessions for the second round of the 2024 Championship. We're at the Chang International Circuit at Buriram Upcountry in Thailand. It's a fantastic circuit. 12 turns packed into an area that can be viewed very well, pretty much entirety of the circuit, from the giant grandstand in the background on the left-hand side of your screen. As you can see, humidity actually not too bad by Thai standards, 66%, but already track temperature nearly 42 degrees and nearly 31 air temperature today. So it's a warm day. As I said, two 15-minute qualifying sessions to define the grid for this afternoon's race, which will start in 4 hours' time at 3 o'clock. And then the second of the two races here at the Chang International Circuit will be tomorrow, Sunday. Yesterday, of course, there was, and last year, we had incredibly heavy rain. It tends to arrive after lunchtime, so we should get through these qualifying sessions in the dry. The forecast, though, is good. But look at this circuit, 12 turns, and look at turn 3. Very tight indeed. Look for that in the course of the race. But of course it's qualifying now. It's about knitting to a little bit of gradient change, particularly through 8, 9 and 10, and then the tight final turn, turn 12, 4.554 kilometres. It's tight, it's twisting, but two long straights to play with. And certainly we'll see how the teams have got their cars set up. But the best car yesterday was, in fact, car number 66, Climax Racing's Mercedes, with a young Australian, Jalen Rowbottom, setting the pace. And let's see if he can do it all over again. But if you're new to GT World Challenge Asia Racing, you'll find the qualifying. We have two groups of drivers. Driver 1 on each of the lists will be setting the qualifying time in this first session, and driver 2 will set the qualifying time for tomorrow's race in the second of the sessions. Great race liveries up and down the pit lane. Car 52, taking a look at that. That was Climax Racing with their Mercedes just across the garage. Car number 66, that was Jalen Rowbottom's car, the car that he shares very successfully with Min Heng, a Chinese racer. But we've got Porsches, we've got Ferraris, we've got Mercedes, we've got Aston Martins, we've got everybody. This is GT3 racing, such a global formula, really pushed around the world by the Stefan Rattel organisation, and incredibly diverse. One driver racing all on his own. In fact, that's his car number 8. It's EBM Motorsport, EBM Aston Martin. That's Indonesian racer Setiawan Santoso. So when it comes to the pit stop in the 1 hour race, about halfway through, he has to actually get out of the car, and then he's allowed to get back in again. All the other cars are 2 driver crews. Car number 44, that's Full Gas Motorsport. It's a new crew for this year. This is a Korean team, so great to have them on board. 15 minutes of qualifying. You can see the drivers already almost jockeying for position to get out to the end of the pit lane, waiting for the lights to turn green. Of course, they'll start to build some heat into their tyres, but as you saw from the graphic earlier, nearly 42 degrees of track temperature. Shouldn't be too difficult to get the heat in. But one of the front-running cars is sitting at pit exit, the front of the queue. Wan Bo and Leo Yihong Lee. Origin Motorsport, if you think that's a new name, well, it is, because the team actually raced as R&B Racing last year. In fact, their 2 cars are the first in the queue, the green and white one at the front, and the sister car number 4. Wei Lu and Lauren Heinrich share that. Sorry, that was the opening round, but we've had a few driver changes this weekend. So Patrick Pile comes back on board. Car number 911, one of the 2 cars with local interest, because Tanat Sathi and Sirikal will be driving that young Thai racer, but the driver who will be going out first will be the Sri Lankan Ishan Piris. And again, many new teams this year. Team KRC, the only BMW in the group, BMW M4 GT3, very popular all around the world. But let's see how they unfold. This is one of the onboard cameras. We've got 4 this weekend. Car number 44, we had a look at the outside shot. Full Gas Motorsport Porsche, the Korean crew. So just remember the distance, 4.554 kilometres, 12 turns. It's a very tight right hand, well, a fairly tight right hand to start with, a little kink at turn 2 on the effectively a straight run out to the right hand hairpin at turn 3. For all these drivers, it's about getting the most out of their Pirellis and see what they can achieve in this 15-minute qualifying session. Still waiting for it to kick off in about 5 seconds' time. The lights will go green. Now we've reached 11 o'clock local time and just waiting for the signal at pit out to be given. There's the waved green flag. And the 2 Porsches from Origin Motorsport set their way onto the circuit. D-Station Racing, their Aston Martin has been flying. It was in the top 4 or 5 in both the practice sessions yesterday, just about 4/10 off the ultimate pace. So look out in these sessions for the 777 crew. Satoshi Hoshino, who's the number 1 driver, and Tomonobu Fujii, who will be the second driver, therefore the one running in the second of the 2 sessions here at the Chang International Circuit. So the car's exiting turn 1. You can just see at the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, there's a little kink on the run down towards the turn 3 hairpin. Driver's just exiting, that's the pit exit. You can see the exit is just after the end of the first corner. Plenty of track width, as that shot shows. A huge width, in fact. So, drivers need to make 2 things happen on this outlap. They need to get some heat into their tyres and also make space for themselves. So for Origin Motorsport, their cars at the front of the queue, they have got what they need out in front of them. For those behind, you can see they're bunching up really rather a lot, but they will make space at the end of this opening lap, this outlap to get heat into the tyres. Don't want to run too close to anybody else, but you can already see one of the front-running cars from last year, number 18, Porsche Center Okazaki, the bright orange 911 GT3R, reckons it's quicker than the car in front and has moved up to get that clear track the drivers all crave. Sun actually started to come through. It was a greyish morning here, but bright. But now as the cars go out on this this outlap to get heat into their rubber, the colours of their cars really shining bright in the sunshine. Huge grandstand in the background there, built over the pit lane with a fabulous view out of 12 corners of the circuit. From the high in the grandstand, you can probably see about 8 of them, so that's really fantastic viewing. One of the crews that won last year, the bright yellow and red car, but of course Craft Bamboo Racing was running the Mercedes last year for the driver who won the second race with Fabian Schiller with last year's champion Anthony Liu. He's moved over to a Porsche this year, so we'll see how he can shine in that. Certainly went very well indeed in number 1. Initially being run by so no lap time, so notes will go onto the board until the end of this next lap, the first flying lap for the crews. This time last year we had 25 cars here at the Chang International Circuit for what was then the opening round of the championship. This year we have 33. Not everyone yet out on the circuit. You can see the number 14 crew, that's GTO Racing Team. Brian Lee's team, the driver from Taipei, that's waiting to go out on the circuit. Are we racing? Are we trying to qualify? Well, looking out there, you can see the car that was first to leave the pit from Origin Motorsport is being monstered by the number 141 Audi. That's James Yu, who was very quick in one of the sessions yesterday. James, a driver who really came on in leaps and bounds through 2023 in GT Asia, the Fanatec GT Asia series. Part of the Global GT World Challenge, powered by AWS. Great to have an increasing number of Ferrari 296 GT3s, but not necessarily the tail swinging as much as it was just there. So that was a car being pushed very hard indeed. That's Harmony Racing that came through to 3rd place in the second of the races at Sepang just a few weeks ago. So one very much to watch. And in terms of pace, we saw the Audi of James Yu pushing on very hard indeed. That set the best first sector time, but the group of cars coming down will get the first flying lap on the board any moment now. And who's it going to be? It's indeed the 41 Audi. Worked its way to the front of the queue for James Yu. 1 minute 37.9. Best lap we saw so far this weekend, 1 minute 34.1. So they'll be working their way towards that. Already starting to see some cars going out to the edge of the circuit a little bit beyond, get all 4 wheels over the white line that mark the edge of the circuit, and your time will be removed. Certainly a lot of drivers in the second practice session yesterday were falling foul of that particular act. So at the moment it's James Yu by 2/3 of a second. Sorry, no, he was fastest. Now 2/3 of a second down from one of the pace setters. It's the 296. Entry Absolute Corsa, so Absolute Racing running a Ferrari as well as their other manufacturers, and that's Andre Canard. That's a name in inverted commas. We know him by another name as well, Andrew Arianto. His car traditionally covered by Canard, that's French for duck. It's a unique race livery, but James Yu in this Audi with the acid yellow flashes on the outside. Still going very well, going faster on this lap than he was on the one before, as you would expect. But what James Yu got was to the front of the queue, and that could be mighty for him, but certainly that's a huge margin by which the 296 Ferrari is fastest. But at the moment with that, very, very good first sector, just been... In fact, he's better this lap than the car that was fastest overall, so out of that very tight final corner, coming up behind one of the Mercedes, 1 minute 35.2. So suddenly found getting on towards 3 seconds, about 2 3/4 seconds on that lap over his first flying lap. Car moving to second place is the number 60 NM Corsa Ferrari, with Rio Ogawa at the wheel, and third fastest for now is the Aston Martin. Top Pro-Am runner, D-Station Racing, Satoshi Hoshino. James Yu just has hunger written over his every single action. This lap slightly compromised up at turn 3. Comes out, gets past the Mercedes, but that wasn't the best entry line. A bit tight for him there. But again, he's now got clear track ahead of him. Again, a slight rise, but if you look at a circuit map, you can never tell until you arrive at the circuit if there's gradients to go with it. But coming out of turn 3, there's a gentle rise down the long run to turn 4, into turn 4, and out of turn 4 goes the Audi. It stays just 2 wheels on the circuit, that's fine. 4 wheels over the white line, not so good. Your time will be taken away, but you can see in this lap nearly a 1/5 of a second improved in the first sector, 1/2 a second in the second sector. So by this rate, James Yu in the number 41 Audi from Audi Sport Asia team Absolute will get down into the 1 minute 34s. Bear in mind the fastest lap, yes, this was 1 minute 34.1 yesterday afternoon. Jalen Rowbottom and number 66 Climax Racing Mercedes, but this another very, very good lap from James Yu into the final corner. It's tight, he keeps all 4 wheels within the white line, or certainly 2 of them, and his lap 1 minute 34.686 seconds. He's fastest by 1 1/4 seconds, but that's because he was the first driver to set a 3rd flying lap. Suddenly a new name in second place, a new manufacturer. It's the Lamborghini from VSR, Vincenzo Suspiri Racing, with Bian Yi, but he immediately gets toppled, pushed back to 3rd by Andre Canard. Now we're riding on board car number 500, the Team Go Jigen Nissan, such a popular car, the GTR Nismo GT3. And at the moment, that's in the top 10. Hirabon. Great car, huge popularity in Southeast Asia. The mighty Nismos, and they've been fabulous since they started to become supercars in the late 1980s, early 1990s. Iconic cars, but there is the Lamborghini in with the blue and yellow stripes, which mark it out as a car being from Formula 3000 champion Vincenzo Suspiri Racing on the traditional bright green. This isn't the 63 that is very well placed. In fact, I tell you what, the 63 Lamborghini, 6 Lamborghini is the one in 3rd place, but 563 a little further down, just outside the top 20, 21st position overall for Mitsutani. Just to let you know that the 66 Mercedes, the black and white car we're looking at there, that has been going very well through the course this weekend. Jalen Rowbottom set the fastest time in it yesterday afternoon, but it's his teammate, Heng Min, who's at the wheel of that. Min in 9th place overall. Will he improve this time round? He's got half a lap to go. Chinese driver. Yeah, that's nice, neat, tidy, balanced. At the moment, 2 crews at the top of the pile. Both silver class entries. Oh, and the driver in 2nd place, Han. He wasn't going well yesterday. It wasn't going enormously well at Sepang, but local star Tanat Sathyan Thirikul up into 2nd place. The number 911 Porsche 911. He's half a second down. He's just ahead of James Liu now, but it's Yu to the top of the pile. James Yu at the top. Car number 4, Origin Motorsport, Wei Lu in 3rd, but in between them, Tanat Sathyan Thirikul, and also fellow Thai racer Vutikon Indrafuvasak in the top 10 in 9th position now. So both of them, 15th and downwards in the 2 practice sessions yesterday, but the Thai drivers really picking up the pace when it counts here in qualifying. And this qualifying session is the one that defines the grid for this afternoon's race. We've got just over 5 minutes remaining in this 15-minute qualifying session. Who is going to lay down the law? At the moment, it's still James Yu, top of the pile, the number 41 Audi from Audi Sport Asia Team Absolute. Fastest by 0.535 of a second. The treble 8 Mercedes at the moment, 9th place. So that's Team Prince Abu Bakr Ibrahim picking up the pace. Going very nicely indeed. And this was the scene of his greatest triumph last year. Victory in the opening race, sharing with Luca Stoltz. You can say the band is back together again, because Jordan Love drove as Prince Abu Bakr's teammate in Sepang, but here Luca Stoltz is back. Number 4, there it is. It was the 2nd car out on the track, 2nd from Origin Motorsports. sitting in third place overall, so looking very tidy for Wei Lu. Anthony Liu won here last year, sharing with Alessio Picariello. Sorry, not with, with Fabian Schiller last year. And now driving a Porsche, still with that bright red and yellow livery that marks him out day or night. That car seems to shine, but going well. But we've had a change, because suddenly we've got a Pro-Am car up into second overall. It's car number 1. That is the car we're looking at. So Anthony Liu's picked up the pace. I just didn't spot his timing interval, but going better still. James Yu, top of the pile, the number 41 Audi. Whatever's happening is he's being chased. Another car moves up into second place now. Winner of the opening round for FAW Audi Sport Asia racing team, and Frankie Cheng Kung Fu goes up into second place. He's 0.273 of a second down. But you can see the pace is improving all the time. The 888 Mercedes, maybe traffic's going to affect it. Down to the final corner he comes. No, it's not going to affect, that's fine. The Aston Martin in front is not going to delay him, and we could have a sudden move towards the top of the charts. It's still James Yu, still the 41 Audi. There goes the 41 Audi. Will that improve on this lap? No, it doesn't, but close to his best. Traffic becoming a bit of an issue, but it's still the 41 Audi at the top of the table. James Yu. There's Setiwan Santosa, the driver who's going solo this weekend, as he did at Sepang in that Aston Martin. Where are the moves coming from? Frankie Cheng. At the moment, we've got Audi's first and second, and in practice, they really weren't in the mix, so they have come good. Car number 40. That was a car in the walls a little bit. That's Ruohang Huang at Sepang, hoping for a better run this time, just outside the top 10. So, yeah, that's looking good indeed. That's one of the cars running in the Pro-Am class. Explain the classes. We've got silver if you've got 2 drivers who are ranked as silver. We've got Pro-Am if you've got a Pro and a less experienced driver. We've got Silver-Am as well, so that they should really stack up effectively with the order silver, Pro-Am, Silver-Am, and we have Am as well. We've got Hiroshi Hamaguchi traditionally, and in fact he is at the moment top in that class. He's in 21st position overall. Does seem a lot of the drivers have given it their best shot, or more than that. They've run into traffic. That 66 Mercedes been looking very good, still in the top 10, but as you can see, what was gained just over a quarter of a second in that first timing split, the second timing split has lost more than that, so don't expect much of an improvement. No, he really backed it off in that final stint. However, what we have there is clear track up ahead, so Heng Min did a good thing there. Now, of course, he's got to deliver here at the Chang International Circuit. It is still 1 minute 34.686 seconds, the fastest time, but only by 0.142, because we've had an improvement for the number 40 Audi, the one we were looking at with the golden flanks. That has moved up into second place overall. So Audi's first, second and third. Tanat, Safi and Thirikul fastest of the Porsches in 4th overall. So the Audis were nowhere on Friday here at the Chang International Circuit, but today they're very, very much in the mix. What's left on the clock? 1 minute is left on the clock. Can James Yu hang on at the top of the table? Where else will the challenge come? Car number 36, that's Frankie Cheng Kung Fu, has actually slipped back down into 7th overall. He may just get another chance to go through for one more lap. Yes, he should. He's sweeping down towards the final corner. Turn 12, the final corner. He's tucked in behind and gets waved through. That's very good indeed. He'll get through before, with about 30 seconds to go. Again, slightly compromised down into the corner, going past that Hamaguchi in the Am class. And Frankie Cheng Kung Fu, with that time, does actually improve. I thought he was going to be compromised, but he's now just 0.131 of a second down on James Yu. So James Yu, the number 41 Audi from Audi Sport Asia team, Absolute. And then the FAW crew, Frankie Cheng Kung Fu. There it is with the red flashes. Seeing what he can do on this final shot. 3 cars covered by 0.142 of a second, because we had that excellent run, the best run so far from another of the Audi Sport Asia team, Absolute R8 LMS GT3 Evo 2, skipping their full name. Who else can fight back? What have we got from Anthony Liu? Here he is, the bright red and white Porsche, champion last year. That's why he's got 1 on the door, 1 on the bonnet. Tail going out a little bit. He's 5th at the moment. But if he can complete this lap, he should improve, because he's improved in the first sector, he's improved in the second sector at the moment. He's just under half a second down on the ultimate pace. Sweeping through turn 11, there's an Aston Martin up in front, staying out of his way. Sweeps past it. Sorry, I beg your pardon. Black and green. I thought it was one of the two Aston Martins. It's actually Mercedes. Matt is not for Anthony Liu. Down to 6th at the moment, just behind Tanat Safi and Siracle. Will there be an improvement? I don't think there will. No, traffic got the better of him there. Right at the end, down by 1/10 of a second. The checkered flag being waved in the background. So for now, but still with quite a few cars to complete their final flying lap, it's James Yu by 14 thousandths, because right at the end, the number 60 LM Corsa Ferrari goes into 2nd place. Ryo Ogawa really slotting it together. At the moment, for now, 36 is in 3rd place overall, Frankie Chang. So it's Audi, Ferrari, Audi at the top of the table, and Audi in 4th place. Tanat Safi Thiracal, better of the two ties, best of the Porsche drivers in 5th place overall. Who else can show? Anyone else got anything in the bag? 888. Mercedes with Prince Abu Bakr Ibrahim down in 8th for the 888 car, may yet just slip one in the final sector. And looking at Hirabon driving the Nissan there, that was up the charts, then down the charts. In fact, that's fallen outside the top 20 to 21st. So fast were things changing. And at the moment, just as the final few cars come to take the checkered flag, the top 2nd covers the top 11 cars. It chopped, it changed. But Ryo Ogawa for LM Corsa got it together when it counted right at the end there to go into 2nd overall. And as I said, 14 thousandths of a second down on the pace set by James Yu. So James Yu in the 40. Audi top of the charts. 1 minute, 34.8686 seconds. So congratulations to him, but of course not much rest for the team. Thumbs up from James as he comes in, but that car being handed across because the next qualifying session starts very soon indeed. Akash Nandi will be the driver taking that one over, but job very nicely done there. And Ryo Ogawa really came good in the end in his Ferrari. The LM Corsa just down by 0.014 seconds, and then just a 1/10 of a second down on him. Frankie Cheng Kong Fu, number 36, Audi in 3rd place overall. So it falls quiet on the circuit, noisy in the pit lane as you can hear the wheel guns going there. Fresh set of Pirelli rubber being put on for the 2nd drivers for session 2. But right now, advantage James Yu, Audi Sport Asia team, absolute 1 minute 34.686 seconds. 14 thousandths was the margin as Ryo Ogawa closed in his Ferrari for LM Corsa. And winner of one of the 2 races at Sepang, Frankie Cheng does it again and again. Look how close it is to the top. Top 4 cars covered by 0.146 of a second with a really, really good final lap from car number 40 with Ryo Hang going incredibly well to move up into 4th place overall. So really, really tight at the top. But I must say the gold standard in that session was James Yu. Not only did he stay top, but he did a consistent number of laps right on the pace. He had to really work the traffic to get to the front. And once he got there, he laid down the pace, and some of the drivers who were up the top early on went tumbling down the order, and the better place to the Origin Motorsport Porsche normally so strong, down in 8th place overall for Lu Wei. So things changing. But for the 2 drivers, 6th place from local drivers, Tanat Safi and Thiracal, 6th for Absolute Racing in the 911 Porsche. Avutakorn Fubasak, who's sharing with a very, very fast Dane Bastian Boos, is just 3 positions further behind in 9th place overall. 0.8 of a second out. It really is that tight here, but advantage James Yu, advantage Audi Sport Asia team, Absolute, and advantage Audi. That's session 1 done and dusted, and session 2 just around the corner. But let's go down to the pit lane because Amy Izawa has caught up with the man who was fastest of all. His name is James Yu.
James, congratulations on your pole position. Very strong start. How do you feel?
Yeah, it's my first pole position in GT World Challenge Asia, and yeah, the car was very nice to drive. I tried to overtake as much as I could and tried to stay calm, and yeah, the time just came.
How far or how close do you think you're from a pole to win?
It's very difficult to say. Anything can happen in the race. All I need to do now is just stay calm and try to get a clean start from the race, and then hopefully we can be on the top of the podium.
All the best luck to you this afternoon, and congratulations again.
Thank you very much to Amy Izawa and cool young charger, car number 41. already going back out onto the circuit. You hear the engines being fired up, or they will be going out soon. This is a replay of what was going on. But interesting, James, you talking to Amy there, saying he had to do overtaking. Of course he did. He needed the track space, and he really worked his corner very well indeed. And as in the first session, the second session begins the two Porsches from Origin Motorsport in reverse order this time around, waiting at pit exit. We have another 15 minutes of qualifying coming up, but not straight away. In fact, the engine's fired up. We've got another 4 minutes until the green flag will be shown for the field. So, first session, it was Audis in first, third and fourth positions, with the LM Corsa Ferrari breaking their run in second overall. Will we have other manufacturers getting to the front? Can Porsches show their hands? Or how about Mercedes? Well, we'll see what unfolds in the race ahead. But bear in mind, last year, a victory in the first race went to a Mercedes, victory in the second race went to a Mercedes, with Porsches also in the mix. But this time around, it's the Audis so far here on the Saturday morning at the Chang International Circuit that are setting the pace. This is the view on board, and Hirabon has handed over the team Gojigan Nismo Nissan to Yu Kanemaru. So you will be our chauffeur of one of the 4 cars running with onboard cameras for us. Car number 75, car that went very nicely, Garage 75. This time David Chipto Biantoro has a different teammate, because the driver's done a lot of racing in Japan despite being from Italy. Maximiliano Wiesa showing with him this weekend. But there's the LM Corsa Ferrari, the car that was second fastest in the hands of Ryo Ogawa. Now it's Shigekatsu Wakizaka who takes that over. You can see quite a few of the crews. They've just kept the cars in the shade as long as they possibly can. The shade cast by the giant grandstand here at the Chang International Circuit. But we are underway. 15 minutes remain. And again, we'll see the drivers jockeying for position out around the circuit to see if they can get the clear space they need to really get onto the ultimate racing line. A line that should set the fastest time, but I dare say I haven't seen the full results from that first session yet. We did have drivers shooting up and down the order, I think, as some had their fastest laps taken away for exceeding track limits. And I'm sure the nature of the beast, when it's so competitive, any GT World Challenge race is going to be competitive. These cars from the manufacturers have a balanced performance and sort of effectively say, yeah, you might be faster down the straights in, let's say, your Mercedes, but round the corners you're faster. So we'll balance it so you have a sort of a format where all the cars should have equal performance, leaving it down to the performance of the drivers and the teams to set up the cars to get the optimum setup for the drivers, and then the drivers to deliver the goods. A couple of cars from Phantom Global Racing sitting in the pit lane, so they're obviously quite cool, calm, collected. They'll be setting their times right at the end of the session, but right now it's like just race day out on the track, getting very busy indeed. But the interloper in the pack was just going out to the back of the shop there. The opening round, we had the Elegant Racing team, but they had a problem with their car, with their Mercedes, so didn't make it here. But we went up to 33 again, same number we had at Sepang, because a local team came to play, which is Hank Kicks' team, Be Quick Absolute Racing, with their Audi, and he's sharing with Rodney James from Australia, son of Bob Jane, who's done such great things over the decades down there, driver up from Melbourne, so great to have him on board, gaining the experience of racing up here in Southeast Asia. But the car that was fastest in the first session got fairly good space in front of it. It's the yellow, black and grey Audi in the background, black and silver really. Car number 41, Akash Nandi on board. Malaysian racer. Right, just remember the time. 1 minute 34.686 seconds was the best lap in session 1. This, the second qualifying session, has nothing to do with today's racing. This is setting the grid for tomorrow's race. And the driver that starts today's race, driver 1 in his driver cruise, will start second tomorrow, and vice versa. So all these drivers know their effort will be their qualifying position come tomorrow's race. Right, Patrick Pile, he's raced in Asia before, he's raced all around the world, and he's slotted in this time around. The opening round, his car, Origin Motorsports, took victory with Wei Lu, but that was with young German racer Lauren Heinrich, but a French veteran, I can call it that. Anyone over 40 counts a veteran, but top level. Every year he's been racing. Patrick Pile, great to have him on board. He'll be racing in the more 24 hours this year. Another time round the clock. First flying lap, Patrick Pile, 1 minute 36.474 seconds. That was better than the first flying lap in session number 1. So maybe the track rubbering down a little bit. All the rubber would have been washed off with heavy rain yesterday. Thunder, lightning. The cars were largely off the track by that point, and they got heavier through the evening. But Pirelli rubber just starting to coat the surfaces of the corners, providing that little bit more grip. Whoa. Class is forever. Great to have Maro Engel on board. The driver, he's just literally won everything you can win in GT3. This is his first time in the championship. Car number 30, absolutely flying around the circuit. Craft Bamboo Racing. Cauchy and Daniel Murad drove it in the opening round, but the Canadian drivers stepped aside, and Maro Engel straight in, straight on the pace. 1 minute, 34.4 seconds. Already a quarter of a second on his first flying lap. Quicker, the best session that anyone managed in session number 1. But also deserving of praise, Eduardo Liberati, second fastest, 1 minute 35 flat. And then Patrick Pilet, 1 minute 36.4. But next time around, you can be sure Pilet's going to go faster. And Marcus Finkhorn, good thing, but look at him. Look, he's absolutely smashing the times out there. His first flying lap put him 8th overall in that number 40 Audi from Audi Sport Asia Team Absolute. But this time, unless he's interrupted in the final few corners, yeah, he's got space in front of him. He's absolutely fine. He's behind one of the Phantom Global Porsches. Whoa, gets very close to it coming into that final corner, turn 12. It shouldn't affect his lap, not affecting his line. Okay, what are we going to see from Marcus Finkhorn? 1 minute 34.230 seconds, top of the pile. Okay, Maro Engel, what have you got in the number 30 Mercedes? In fact, Maro Engel did marginally improve, but he's actually dropped to 3rd place because another Mercedes Works driver, Maxi Gertz, who's on board this weekend, back in harness. Over here goes across the line, second fastest, Craft Bamboo Racing Mercedes. So their cars with Gertz in number 30. Sorry, Engel in 30, Gertz in 88. Second and third fastest at the moment. So they're looking good, travelling around the circuit together. I'll help you, and then maybe you can help me. But it's the driver in number 30 who was top. He's down into 3rd overall at the moment, just a 5th of a second down. Over the rise, into turn 4, a left-hander. Actually going around a small lake. Can't always see it in all the camera angles. Turns 5 and 6, a couple of left-handers on their left-hand side as they go with a very slight rise. Is a little late, and they turn to the right. They're going to the sort of what I think of as the infield part of the circuit. Well, we've been looking at their Mercedes. Maybe we should be looking at car number 22, the Climax Racing Mercedes, black with the green flashes on it, because we've got a new name at the top of the charts, and it's Ralph Aron who's really got that to fly. 1 minute 33.911 seconds. The first car all meeting below 1 minute 34. So tall Estonian really making that work for him. Maxi Gertz, car number 88, peels off. His time is good for 2nd place. Maybe he's using all those years of experience going, I need some chassis changes, I need some setup changes. So he's coming into the pits. We've still got 8 minutes remaining. Maybe it's just tyre pressures, but, you know, all the experience these top works drivers have. They're dotted in teams all around the world. It can come to bear. Car number 25, one of the 2 Porsche Center Okazaki entries. Get used to the bright orange one the last few years of Hiroaki Nagai and Yuta Kamimura, but this is the sister car. Tsubasa Kondo shares that with Kiyoshi Uchiyama. And at the moment, that's not the very sharp end of the field. In fact, it is, because Kondo's just gone top. Sorry, I was looking in the top 10, didn't spot it, they moved to the top of the chart. So 1 minute 33.827 seconds, a 10th of a second clear of Ralph Aron. So we had Mercedes moving to the top. Don't forget, the first session was all about the Audis with 1 Ferrari interloper. Then the Mercedes been coming in strongly now. And also Lamborghini's looking pretty handy indeed. Yuki Inamoto, in fact, done a lot of his racing in Europe. 8th at the moment. Looks like he's going to improve on that. Best of the Audis is in 5th at the moment. Marcus Finkelhoff, 4/10 of a second down. Down to the final corner comes the 563 Lamborghini. Inamoto is 8th at the moment. Is there going to be an improvement for him? He goes down to 9th. And crosses the line, but no, the final sector wasn't a good one for him. Must have been slightly traffic affected. But what he does have as he sweeps through turn 1 is clear track ahead of him. So that number 25 Porsche Center Okazaki, not the one of their pair that he thought would be at the top, but it jolly well is. Tsubasa Kondo, well, he'll be enjoying that. He's got another 6.5 minutes remaining to not only try and improve his time, but just hope he's not going to be overtaken by anybody else. So a good run for the driver who's done a lot of his racing in the Japanese GT300 class of Super GT. Right, Maxi Gertz came into the pits, the 88 Mercedes, the 22 Mercedes, the driver who fleetingly was top, Ralph Aron, also came in for adjustments. Number 13 Porsche Phantom Global Racing. This is one of the couple of the cars entered by this team that didn't go out at the very start of the session. They decided to wait a little bit longer. And Jackson Evans, who's been parachuted in this weekend, good for fourth. And Jackson, long-time Porsche driver, in fact started his racing season this year down in the Fanatec GT World Challenge Australia, driving an Arise Racing Ferrari, but called back in this weekend. Joel Eriksson, the regular teammate for Sun Jing Su, not able to be here, competing in Formula E. So Jackson Evans, despite all his years since he left Palmerston North, hasn't really raced in this part of the world, so he's having his first visit here and clearly going very well indeed. A quarter of a second down, good for fourth overall. Where are the changes coming? So Kondo, fastest, the number 25 Porsche in the pits. Fifth fastest, Maro Engel in the pits. But those that went in have all emerged with intent, with 5 minutes remaining to go and show what they can do to deliver. Marcus Winkelhock, best of the Audis, 6th overall. He's 3/10 of a third of a second effectively down on the very, very fastest time. Still 1 minute 33.827 seconds. Still two cars, only two, under the 1 minute 34 barrier. Fastest of all, Porsche Center Okazaki, the 25 Porsche. Second fastest, and now starting to build up to pace after making a pit stop, is the Climax Racing Mercedes, the AMG GT3 Evo, car number 22, with Ralph Aron on board. Jackson Evans was fourth, goes third, so one lap good, next lap better. He's under 2/10 away from provisional pole, and looks like he's just about got enough space up ahead of him. Oh, will he get close to Audi up in front? In fact, as he gallops down through the kink at turn 2, starting to catch a car in front, not what the Kiwi wants. So has the tactic of going out later worked for the 93 Porsche. In the top 10 for Bastian Boost all day. So that's looking good. There he is. In fact, he's moved down to 10th as we speak. It's changing and changing fast. What's changing at the top? Lucas Stoltz goes into third place overall. Now we've got 4 drivers under 1 minute 34, because Marco Mappelli, the number 63 Lamborghini from VSR, also goes under that marker. And Jackson Evans, having moved to third, is down into 5th place overall. Times are really starting to change. Cars starting to have their times deleted for going off the circuit at turn 8. So the stewards are watching, as ever. This is looking good from Bastian Boost, the 93 Phantom Global Racing Porsche. 10th at the start of this lap. What's this lap? Oh, doesn't improve. Oh, lost it all in the final sector, but he'd improved in sector 1 and in sector 2. He can do it again. What's left on the clock? 3 minutes 10 seconds. Time aplenty. Lucas Stoltz, treble 8 Mercedes, flashing the lights. He wants that Ferrari out of his way. He'd done a really, really brilliant opening sector, a brilliant second sector. Just doesn't want the Ferrari sitting across his bows. Out of turn 11 they come, and he backs it off. Backed it off. There he is, slowed it right down. Lap out of the window. But what he wants now is clear track. Because the final corner is so tight, doesn't matter that he's coming in slowly, he can accelerate into that corner as though he just braked heavily from a higher speed, and then he'll have the clear track in front of him for, not for showboating, trying to get to the top of the pile. Talk about the top of the pile, it's no longer the 25 Porsche Center Okazaki 911, it's Patrick Pilet, another Porsche Origin Motorsports, so his teammate Wei Lu will be very happy indeed. 1 minute 33.787, we've now got 6 cars under 1 minute 34. Alessio Picariello goes into 6th place, and he went very well here last year with Butikon and Vumsak taking a 2nd and 3rd places in the 2 races. Right, eyes on the top of the screen. Look for movement, look for colours on the chart. If it's purple, they're fastest of all. And at the moment, fastest of all is Patrick Pilet. There he is, that fabulous metallic purple colour scheme. Great, great presentation of cars here in Fanatec GT Asia. Very distinctive colour schemes. Distinctively Asian in many ways, but very different liveries, and all the better for it. giving series identity. Who else is on the move? Well, Marco Mapelli, look out for him, the 63 Lamborghini, fastest of all in sector 1. He's still got 2/3 of the circuit to go. What's left on the clock? 1.5 minutes. Not much time left. Looking good from another name. The Nissan goes top. Yuka Amaro. Wham! 1 minute 33.674. He's fastest by 1/10 of a second. Patrick Pile. Here he is sweeping through the final corner. He's got to try and respond. Target time 1 minute 33.674. Patrick Pile 1 minute 33.913 stays in second place overall. Sebastian Kondo third, but these times are changing fast, and one to look for is Marco Mapelli, the 63 Lamborghini. Is the traffic going to interrupt him coming down behind one of the Origin Motorsport Porsches? He should be fine. The Italian hanging on here. Target time has moved because Lucas Stoltz has just gone to top. We fleetingly had the Nissan, the 500 car. Then Lucas Stoltz, the 888 Mercedes, 1 minute 33.4, and Marco Mapelli into third, 1 minute 33.7. It's tight and it's going closer and closer at the top. We've got a second how about this? Top 20 cars covered by 1 second. Yuki Namoto is only 0.95 of a second down. He's in 20th place. There is room for improvement, but there's not much time for improvement. Into the final half minute of this second qualifying session. Oh, bad news for the opposition. The 888 Mercedes is going faster still. The checkered flag will be out in a dozen seconds. And Lucas Stoltz, fastest of all last time around. He improves in the first timing sector. I can't see from my position exactly who he's got in front of him. The advantage is no one too close. He's got one of the Ferraris. I think it's the absolute Corsa Ferrari. We'll get a better look at that in a second. But that moves out of the way. Oh, a bit of debris on the track out of turn number 5 there. Turn number 6, actually, I beg your pardon, but Lucas Stoltz has got through that. There's Luca. Ralph Aron just goes into second place, so the pit stop for the Climax Racing crew has worked very nicely. It's Mercedes first, Mercedes second, 500 Nissan, the only Nissan in third place, and Maxi Goertz in fourth. So Mercedes have come on very, very strongly for Craft Bamboo Racing, but also for 888 JMR. Lucas Stoltz, fastest of all. Is he going to lower the margin even further? 1 minute 33.3 seconds. He takes the checkered flag. He takes potentially pole position, but watch out for the 22 Mercedes. Here's Ralph Aron, bit of traffic up ahead, but the black and green Mercedes from Climax Racing is fine. The middle sector's lost a little bit, but he's still up to improve. Oh, he's down in third position overall because Mauro Engel has just gone into second place. It's Lucas Stoltz, fastest in 888 Mercedes. Second fastest, here's the theme. Mercedes, Mauro Engel, car number 30 from Craft Bamboo Racing, and Ralph Aron. Oh, that middle sector, will that have cost him? Or what traffic has the Estonian got up ahead of him? Nothing. Here he is, out of turn 11, down towards the final corner. Fastest in sector 1, slightly slower in sector 2. At the moment, he's 3/10 of a second down. Surely not enough to join the top 2, get into the front row of the grid. But the Estonian's going really well in 2024. Best time, 1 minute 33.4. Does improve. He's 1/10 of a second down overall, but job really, really well done overall. There's number 88. That's Maxi Goertz. He improves. Good for 5th. So, first session for qualifying today, it was about 3 Audis in the top 4. Second session, largely with the pro drivers in these lineups, and it's all about Mercedes, with Lucas Stoltz going to the top of the pile. And his best time was, get this, it was 1 minute 33.347 seconds, 1.3 seconds. Better than the time that took qualifying session 1, this car number 41. And that was James Yu taking the fastest time in qualifying 1 to take pole, but his teammate within a second of the ultimate pace, but good, only for 17th. Wow, talk about a changing of the form at the front of the field. But super qualifying session, and at the end, Ralph Aron in second place was down by just 0.033 of a second, 33 thousandths of a second. But bragging rights goes to 888 JMR. Job done supremely well by Lucas Stoltz, a winner here in the opening race 12 months ago. He knows how to make a Mercedes fly. That is why he's brought on board, and really, really delivering for the crew. But that was so tight. Every single one of the drivers at the front end of the field will go, well, I could have gone faster if there hadn't been traffic, but it's about making space in the traffic. And they say cream rise to the top. And when you look at the ranks of Mercedes drivers, you know that Lucas Stoltz, Mauro Engel, Maxi Goertz will all be at the top. They're 3 of the top 5 runners, but hats off to another Mercedes driver. The driver who was second, Ralph Aron, going really, really well indeed, and putting his name up with the established stars. but you almost didn't know where to look. And in among that, of course, also great mention to the Team Gojigan crew, the number 500 Nissan, ending up overall with the Mercedes in 4th overall. But there, confirmation that Lukas Stolz, top of the charts for 888 JMR. So his teammate Prince Abu Bakr Ibrahim will be very, very happy indeed with that. At least he knows that when he gets his car on the grid for the second race, he'll be doing the second stint, but Lukas Stolz will start from pole. Ralph Aron, another Mercedes, in just 33 thousandths of a second in a rear for Climax Racing. Craft Bamboo Racing normally at the front, again at the front. Look at their two Mercedes in number 30 and number 88 in 3rd and 5th positions. And between them, Team Jigan Nissan in 4th overall. Patrick Pilet did what he came here to do and was the best of the Porsche runners. In fact, look at them, the Porsches in 6th, 7th, 9th and 8th and 10th positions, with the best of the Audis in session 2, only in 9th position. Marcus Rinkelhock really flying in that, but it really was about the big guns coming out to play and super, super tight at the top. And just to point out, 33 thousandths of a second really is less than the blink of an eye. So different teams, different crews, but it was Mercedes and the pro drivers to the 4 qualifying session 2. That's for tomorrow's race, but we already have the grid for this afternoon's race. The first of 2 races here at the Chang International Circuit at Buriram in Thailand. I knew it was going to be tight on times. I didn't know it was going to be as close as that. And just to go back over at the end, kind of the 17th position was the last car within a second of pole. It's that close. It's a blink of an eye here, a slip there. 33 cars came out to play. Sergio Sozo, the driver driving solo, will bring up the rear for tomorrow's race in the Aston Martin. He will be the one that has to get out at the pit stop and then get back in again to do the second half of the 1 hour race. And the car that joined just for this weekend, a car that races in Thailand largely, the Audi from Henk Kicks's Be Quick squad, shared with Australian driver Rodney Jane in 31st position overall. But drivers learning as they go, but it was about precision and it was about delivering with 33 cars split among the 4.5 kilometre track. Traffic was an issue for some, but the stars found out how to position their cars to get the clearest run on their best flying lap, and they had to do a series of flying laps because the pace kept on coming as extra Pirelli rubber went down on the circuit, giving it extra grip. And good to see such a clean qualifying session. If there was a spin, I didn't see one, but everyone was very, very close indeed. There was a little bit of debris on the track between turn 5 and 6. That is now being swept clear. All the cars in Parc Fermé. Car number 19 under investigation. That's the Spirit of FFF Racing Team. That's Hiroshi Hamaguchi's Audi, which he shares with Mineki Akura. So I can't tell you for what that is. But let's go down to speak to the fast drivers at the end of the second qualifying session. And Amy Izawa has the pole sitter, a driver who worked very, very hard for 888 JMR. It's Lukas Stolz.
Luca, congratulations on your pole position. You're stacking up your good memories here, I guess. You had a win last year, pole position now. How will it go this weekend?
Yeah, really good weekend so far. Yesterday we struggled a bit, but today we came really back, and also Abu did a really nice job in Q1 with P5. So yeah, overall it looks good so far. I hope we have a good race today, and yeah, it's great to have a pole position here.
Crossing my fingers here. Good luck in the race.
That's Lukas Stolz. He just is excellence in the car. But again, looking at the replay, lights are flashing. I need you out of my way. I'm quicker, I'm catching you. I need to get past. The Ferrari did move out of the way. In fact, got the tail swinging around there, but Luca kept the foot planted on the throttle. Got that Mercedes AMG in front, got the clear track, and then delivered. And at the end, super close. Top 3 cars covered by 1/10 of a second. Top 17 by an entire second. But Lukas Stolz rode it out. Successful here before. And the presentation from Rover. That's Mr. Surawang Pornarang Asap, who's the Rover product manager for Borneo Technical Thailand. So again, this is a new trophy for 2024 all around the world, and job done. So the smiles, but the trophies as well. The presentations from Rover Oils, great to have them on board for 2024. Lukas Stolz arrived here, sat in the 888 Mercedes and stuck it on pole position for tomorrow's race. Super close, but the important thing for the tall German, he was quickest overall, just by 33 thousandths, but enough to take that treasured pole position. All falls quiet over the circuit, but that was a cracking couple of qualifying sessions. Audi took the advantage in session 1, and it was all Mercedes in the top 3 positions in session number 2. A couple of the Porsches down there being pushed into the shade, kept out of the sunlight that's really starting to burn through the clouds here. It's hot, it's humid, as you'd expect. Upcountry Thailand, and for the two local drivers, better placed at the end, car number 9, 11. In fact, it was Amsterdam down in 20th position overall. I tell you, if you looked at the timing screens, blinked and then looked back again, they changed. But it was Mercedes rising to the top at the very end here at the Chang International Circuit. And that should make a fantastic start to the race tomorrow. But we've got an entirely different grid for race 1, which will be 3 o'clock this afternoon. See the flags over the pits, Fanatec black flags, a little bit of a breeze coming in. There was no breeze this morning. Does that mean rain is coming? Well, we don't think so, but it does blow in here very quickly indeed. The weather forecast said no, but I'll reserve judgment when we get to the first of our 2 races here at Buriram in Thailand. Great circuit, and again, there's the presentation to James Yu from Rover. He takes the pole award for the first race, standing down in the pit garage, just in a little bit of welcome shade. But I tell you, James is a massive star, rising very fast in the firmament in Asia. Looks cool, calm, collected, gives a great interview. But there was, when it counted, when it mattered, he delivered that pole position. So he's the Rover pole winner for race 1, this afternoon's race, and Lucas Stoltz will start tomorrow's race in the 888 Mercedes from pole. And then all the crews get back into the cool of the garage, get a bit of wind being blown around. But I tell you what, that was a session I almost didn't know where to look. Let's take a look at the highlights, because it was all about making space in traffic, getting the heat into those Pirelli tyres. And this was really the case in any driver lineup. You've got a driver 1 and driver 2. These were all the second drivers, but they're largely the pros in these crews, the more experienced, the more highly ranked drivers, and they absolutely delivered. We saw Patrick Pilet, the number 4 Origin Motorsport Porsche, setting some very good pace early on. Why? Because he was the first car out of the pits. He had the clear track ahead of him, and he made the very, very most of it. But whatever target time he set in his Porsche, the Mercedes were coming. The pair of them there from Craft Bamboo Racing, number 88 going very well for Maxi Gertz, the number 30 just in behind Maro Engel. They got into the top 3, but times kept on changing. Others came into the mix. Look out for number 22 for Ralph Varron. But it was about having space on the circuit. The Craft Bamboo crew worked very nicely indeed. And then suddenly we had a Porsche going to the top. We had Tsubasa Kondo for Porsche Zenta Okazaki. He managed to make space and really got it going, but as the session advanced, the Mercedes were the ones that just found a 10th here, a 10th there, went to the top of the charts. Marcus Finkelholt working super, super hard to make track space, got into the top 6. By the end, he'd fallen down to 9th overall as the Mercedes started to set the better times, with Ralph Varron going up into the very sharp end of the field, and also the team Gojig and Nissan getting right to the sharp end of the field as well, Yukan Amaro. But it was the 888 car that needed the space on the track, and Lucas Stoltz doing everything to almost shove the number 75 Ferrari from Garage 75 out of his way. Patrick Pilet kept on fighting, see if where he could place his Porsche. In the end, he was the best of the Porsches, but good for only 6th place overall, because the big guns from Mercedes were really starting to find a 10th here and a 10th there. And at the very end, it was Lucas Stoltz who took pole position for 888 JMR. His best time, 1 minute 33.347 seconds, 33,000 to clear the field. That was enough. That was pole for race 2 at the Chang International Circuit here in Thailand. Could anybody else chip away? They were very happy indeed. There's Prince Abu Bakr Ibrahim. Hugs all round. And the cars are tucked away and they'll be put back into the shade. Cracking couple of qualifying sessions. So the stage is set for this afternoon's race. Race 1 here at the Chang International Circuit at Buriram. And the grid for tomorrow's race is even closer. Do join us later on.